I'm too sexy for my beaver
Beast.
tooth. Too beast. Too sexy,
Sexy
for
for
my
my-
fangs. We should have thought this through.
That would have taken more planning than the producers of this show did.
That's what they should say. Sexy beast. We should have thought this through. Y'all, welcome to
Sorry, we should have thought this through.
Y'all, welcome to Sexy Beast. This is Reality Gaze.
Sexy Beast. If you're new to us, I don't know why you're a super fan of this show, because either that means you're maybe in a mental health facility and you're just taking a little time for yourself.
Well, I don't think I hated the show as much as you did.
I don't think you did.
Because I actually didn't hate it. I enjoyed watching it. I thought it was. I would be almost. I would be almost interested. Well, we're gonna watch the other episodes, but I would be interested in watching all episodes. Just so you know, by the way, y'all, before, if you're worried about being spoiled, we're going to be covering episodes 1 and 2 in this, because they're short episodes.
In this episode, yeah.
In this podcast, and then in the second podcast, we'll cover 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6. That's how we're going to do this. So you're going to get
Who would have? I never thought you would go there.
Who would go?
I'm joking.
Where? Oh,
I was like, I didn't see that coming.
Didn't see that coming. So you've been wanting to do it. Just go ahead. Just launch into it, Poodle.
Let me tell you, but first of all, if you don't know us, and like I said, if you have had some downtime and you're a Carl's wife and you've just said, I like this sexy, or if you're a makeup artist who affects, and you're like, I like sexy beast.
Now the makeup artist in me did
this
really
is
like
on
that.
Point.
It's beyond on point. It's amazing.
Anyway, we are Reality Gaze. We cover, first of all, I'm Jake, aka Poodle, and this one is Matt, aka Millicent. Mildred.
You can
I think I'm the only one who calls you that.
Maddie.
Yeah. But we cover 90 Day Fiance, we cover Below Deck, we cover lots of other cringe shows.
I mean,
reality shows.
I'm shocked if this is the show where somebody found us.
I know. I was just doing it. I was,
I mean, you never know. You never know. Because they would have
international appeal.
But they would not only have to find us, they would have to pay for our Patreon.
You're right.
So
no one is
new to this. This is just all our sissies.
I should have just started in saying, you know what this show needs? Without any intro at all.
What? And go ahead, Poodle.
Fuckers, I'm going to tell you.
If you don't watch the show, y'all, the whole point of this show, they want to kind of take this premise of Love is Blind, but basically
where appearance doesn't matter.
Yeah, appearance doesn't matter. So it's called Sexy Beast because it's apparently, this doesn't really come off in the trailer, but it's sexy people. It's good-looking people that are dressed up in prosthetic makeup to look like.
Oh, I did not think that was implied by the title at all.
I don't think it was a well-done title, but when you watch the show, it's clearly
and
beautiful people dating.
That's part of the problem.
But it's beautiful people dating they look like a mouse costume, or they look like a beaver,
demon,
or like
or a mongoose,
or whatever. And so the whole premise is, it's kind of like We're Too Hot to Handle is like hot people always want to fuck. They're like, hot people meet on dates and hook up. This is giving them time to meet the real person to see if they have chemistry.
In 15 minutes to see.
Yeah.
So, and the point of this, you guys, is they go on one person. Everyone's in prosthetic, kind of gruesome prosthetic makeup. They go on 3 kind of speed dates.
They meet one person. So, for example,
one person, Emma the demon.
Emma in episode 1 goes on dates with 3 beasts.
The demon you went to college with. Emma, you know her. Got red face, things on her face, like fangs.
She lets one person go, and then at the end, she goes on dates with 2 people, and then she makes a decision. So that's the show. And Poodle, tell us why you hate it.
They are her sexy beast. Tell me why you hate it. You know what? I'm going to start off. I decided I was going to do this. Just like the contestants do, they say they give a pro and a con. It's so pat, you guys. They're like, I liked our time we spent together, but I was a little concerned that you may be a Mormon. But no,
You-
they
you-
didn't say that.
You know what this show actually reminds me more than any reality TV show I've watched? The best comparable to this show is Cupcake Wars.
What?
Meaning
I've never watched that show.
I've never willingly watched it, but it has come on. But it's like any of those 30-minute cooking shows. It's just they do a quick challenge, then they have a descendants. One
Yeah.
goes home, they do a second challenge, but every critique is, I like this or this, but da 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 da.
Yeah.
I like da 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 da.
Which is the
da,
most
da, da.
pat reality show
But that's
production you can possibly
But
do.
that's the format for Cupcake Wars.
Yeah.
We just had an old student of ours on a cake show.
Who did it?
Emma.
She was on it. Emma
From
Rosenthal.
Belvoir, Rosenthal. Her and her
Look at her.
mom. They made it to the finals.
Probably shouldn't have dropped her first and last name, but that's okay.
She's wonderful.
So here's the thing. I'm going to say a positive. I'm surprised I found 3 positives about this show, but I did. I think the special effects makeup is fun. I think it makes for a great way to sell the show.
Great gimmick.
You are already going to have people watching because of just how bizarre it looks.
It was
Because
hilarious watching people kiss with
Yes.
prosthetics on.
The Masked, I almost said The Masked Singer. The Masked Singer was the #1 show this past season on Fall. It went all ratings, and it embarrassed everyone. Like it just trounced everybody. Even like Bachelor some nights. It was disturbing how much it won.
Mhm.
So obviously it was a good way to go. They're fun. One thing I would have liked is if something with the person's personality had anything at all to do with the makeup they chose. Like The Masked Singer, where they say, I am the peacock because I'm proud to be here.
Mhm.
So we have some connection and we have some bit of storytelling.
That was
Because
great.
In the end, y'all, the makeup is just a gas. It's just there.
'Cause they could have even said that on their date, like, why did you choose a zebra?
Yes. So
And it would
that's
be
the thing.
agree.
This was all so like underwhelmingly produced.
I agree.
So the next thing I have is that's a good and a bad. Rob Delaney has his voiceover, and he's a very funny person. If you've ever watched Catastrophe, Rob Delaney is hilarious. I saw him I don't know if your stand-up special or Allie's stand-up class, where Rob Delaney with his backpack on was the final person.
It was Allie's.
It was Allie's. He was fucking hilarious.
He's also he does something to me.
Oh, you mean attractive? Yeah, I
He's
agree.
cute.
But no, he's so good on Catastrophe. He's so funny on Twitter.
He's got a great Twitter.
He's just legendarily funny. He's got nothing to do here. He's reading bad jokes and puns that don't really go anywhere. So there's a good and a bad there. He's underused. So, I feel like with Desiree from Too Hot to Handle, something could have been done in that vein. But maybe it's just the people who are writing for him aren't doing very well. I don't know.
Possibly.
The best thing about this show, you guys, is it is short and mindless. It is like 23 minutes an episode. You can watch it and then go get stoned and then go watch another episode, because I bet it's really fun when you're high.
I honestly,
you enjoyed it more than I did.
I didn't hate it because I think right now I literally spent the day either stopping vomit happen or stopping shit happen.
So
and
maybe it's escapist television.
That's actually why I really enjoyed watching it, because especially a lot of the shows we watch, Love is Blind,
they're very heavy.
Too Hot to Handle. We get emotionally in them. I don't want to, but I get anxiety when Yara is yelling at Jovi because I love Yara. This show, I don't give a fuck about any of these people. I want to see if they're pretty or not. They're some of them are kind of totally morons and they're acting like morons, and I laugh at them.
Some of them.
And so I honestly, I would give 1 out of 10 of this show, like for production value. as somebody who's like producer brain, I would give it like a 3. But
that's a good number.
But as like a viewer watching it that enjoyed it, I'd give it a strong 8. I enjoyed it.
Oh my God. I was going to say like a 5.
Nope. It was mindless. It was fun. It made me giggle. Like Rob, when he talked about that whole foot thing, made me laugh because it was weird and creepy.
I think I was, you know what? The idea that you didn't know anybody, you didn't care anybody, that really bothered me, because even on a fun show, like Dating Around is kind of a fun show that we watched on Netflix. I think that's kind of comparable to this show.
I don't know, but Dating Around y'all, this show has no heart. Dating Around has heart.
Exactly. But that's what I'm missing.
Yeah, but we have heart in everything maybe it's because we're so conditioned with what we watch.
Yeah.
That I just was like this to me feels like Judge Judy. I don't get invested. Yeah. These people, it's just like mindless fun. They come in my life, they leave. If I don't watch the rest of the episode even, I don't care. If I just want to fast forward to see if he's hot, I'll do it.
So this is kind of like what I call a jerk off show. I could watch this when I was jerking off and understand.
Yep.
Perfect.
And that's kind of why I enjoyed it. So I would watch the second season just and laugh at it. We're not going to recap it. We're not going to recap it.
I'm never going to watch, and I'm never going to watch anything. This is such a waste of time for me. But I think, let me just tell you some of the biggest problems. The premise is that these people are finding love not based on looks, but on personality. That's what Rob is saying. That's the voiceover. And because the idea is, they say most of these people have said that they are attracted on looks alone, kind of like Too Hot to Handle. We're going to change these superficial relationships to deeper ones. So that is what the show aims to do. Like you said, though, you don't care about any of that. Mm-hmm. So maybe they just have to say that for lip service. That they don't, and then at the end they just don't really care.
Like I think this show, I think this show would be better of not they have to decide if they want to go on a date, but 3 people are in a mask, and at the end of this, you have to decide who are you going to fuck.
Yeah, it's like those MTV shows. Yeah. Those were great because they had no stakes. You didn't have to go to Sexy Beast Manor or
you just
Date My Mom Manor.
It's just next. It's just next.
Yeah. See, I loved those shows because there were no stakes. Those were just fun. And this is what I thought this show was trying to be. But there was too much heaviness before it was introduced. And there was too much stuff. If it was going to be like a Next or a Room Raiders or one of those, which they desperately need to bring back. Y'all, MTV needs to bring back these terrible game shows like Next.
Well, I think this show will somewhat do well-ish, maybe. You never know with Netflix because they don't very rarely.
It fell off a cliff it was like number 7 last night, and it fell off a cliff today. So people don't like it.
Well, it's also super short. But there's, I do think, with everything that's happened with the pandemic, I do think more escapist kind of fluff TV is. I feel like people are going to want a little bit of that. It's just fun. That's the overall feeling when I watch the show. It's just fun.
The last thing I thought, this is the most important thing they could use to fix this show, because I think the show is fixable. I think it is. The casting. I don't know where they found these people, but this was like a reject from every show. I
disagree a little bit with the casting because...
You mean you thought it was good, or you disagree with the casting?
I thought I don't know all the full details, obviously. I kind of go back to the production of that, because when we talk about, like, Emma presented... Let's just jump in and talk about the first episode, since I think you got...
This is Emma. I'm done. I'm done with my diatribe on why this show is bad, bad, bad. So you said this show is okay. You would give it a. Let's say you would have to give it a 1 to 10 without factoring in production and
like an average. An average, I would give it a 6.
Got it. I would say 3.5, 4 tops. Okay. Yeah.
So
4 on a good day.
we should think of a ranking system. Like I give it 5 dicks or I give it 4 dicks.
3 1/4 dicks.
3 1/4 dicks. That's it. That's what we're doing now. I would give this show 2 3/4 dicks.
1 dick.
1 dick.
1
okay.
dick for me.
That's what we're doing from now on.
1 dick.
1 dick. So the way Emma's presented, she basically is saying like, they ask her, my name's Emma. Y'all, we don't know what she looked like. She's already in a demon costume.
She's already in the demon costume.
And I agree with you. That's a missed opportunity. If she said like, I'm a bad girl, I'm always making bad decisions, but I really want to, like, then we would know. Instead, she's just in a demon costume. And she says, it's kind of like basically someone worked.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, we don't see, if we could see her without it before and she's put on.
We can't. I don't. No way. We need to see.
I guess. I kind of want to see the makeup put on.
No, that would ruin it.
Really? Because you need to see how hot she is.
No, it's that you want to know the whole premise of this show is: did they pick somebody who's cute or not? That's it.
But the thing is, you're not listening to me. The whole premise of the show that they say in the beginning is looks important? Maybe can we find someone based on personality? And they repudiate that at every second of the show.
But I want to see the guy that she picks. I want to see his reaction to her.
Well, yeah, because and
it would take that away.
That's the feeding Christian to the lions part of the show.
Yeah, because you get the double reaction. So what was I going to say?
It was about Emma. Blah blah blah. She's a model because of course she
basically says that she her intro is like, I'm looking for someone. If someone is too. Not someone who's too perfect. I like soft on the inside. I usually go for bad guys. Sexual attraction's a must, but I really, like someone who's soft. This would have been totally fixed if she said, my name's Emma and I always go to third base. Like, then we know what type of show this is, y'all, because that's
the MTV model.
But it's kind of how this show, in a way, as it went along, wanted to skew.
I totally agree with you.
And it feels weird. I'm not the biggest. I know this is a bigger thing right now because our friend Matthew from Love Island is so fucking good and funny at narration, and I know that's kind of becoming the thing now. I don't know if I always love it on every single reality, either competition or dating show, because it almost feels so much of let me tell the audience how to comment on this in their brain instead of letting them have a normal reaction.
You misunderstand your audience and you misjudge your audience. You look down on your audience.
You think they're being dumber than, and so because I think if he wasn't doing the narration, we would have taken this a little more serious. But since he's making fun of them as we're watching it, then it should be a campy, funny intro when they jump in.
And that's the thing.
So it's not
campy or funny.
It's not.
I didn't think it was funny at all. And what you said was really interesting because if she would have said, you're right, if they're dressed in this like extreme makeup, but then they're just saying these inanities like you've seen 1,000 people say before. They're like, I want a guy who let me play with my prosthetic chin here. And that's the disconnect that bothers me.
Where if you had a demon who said, I love sucking dick on the first date.
Not maybe that, but she could have used like demon puns to get us through that. None of that was employed.
It was not. No.
So
that's why I say, I don't know if that's the casting. To me, it seems more like the producers basically are feeding them what they want them to say via interviews. They're saying, okay, Emma, so we want you to say what you said before. You're looking for this, you're looking for that. Whereas a producer who was thinking of this with a more comedic eye would have produced it differently.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, let's talk about the daters.
But I was just to say, it feels extremely lazy. I think that is, if there was one word I could give it, lazy.
I would say confusing, but lazy would be second.
Yeah. She needs them to be funny. We have Bennett, who is the mandrill. Again, every single person needs to say something like, ooh, 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 I'm a baboon or a mandrill. I don't know what a mandrill is. But instead it's like, yeah, pro volleyball player. I'm a boob guy. Crickets.
And he said, I like big boobs. I like to run off in the sunset. We have Archie from England.
But
and
let me just pause there. Is anyone hit in the head with the irony of personality matters? And every single motherfucker is like, I like a big ass. I like big boobs.
Yes. And so
irony is like thick in the air. Anyway, go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
it wasn't. And well, I'll see the other episodes because Rob, I feel like, commented on that irony more in the second episode.
Yeah, he gets better in episode 3. I've seen it too.
Okay, so I'm wondering, like, if it took a while to find the rhythm of this show. Who knows what episode 6 is like?
Episode 3 is good. I've watched 3 and 4. Episode 4 features one of the most obnoxious people I've ever seen on television, and that includes the woman from the 40-year-old property virgin.
Oh, you did hate her. You did hate her. I do think the show is better than that show.
Oh yeah.
That show was a
talk about a show that didn't know what it wanted to be.
That was a half dick. That show, not even one.
You're talking about Archie.
So
Archie is a
from
student,
England, yes,
and he's a statue, and he likes a big ass.
He likes it, but he says he thought he was a player, but he says he's just kind of waiting for the right person. But he says he likes a big ass. But again, that's the deal. He's like, I'm waiting for the right person, but I like a big ass. Whereas Adam says, Adams is a mouse, and he says he's really bad at doing just looks first. He said, but and this is kind of funny.
He got the show. This guy got the show.
He says, I wear ladies' perfume because they're picking it out. It means they like it. It might attract them. It was funny.
This guy understood the show. He's from Birmingham. He got also. You must have surmised this. They filmed this in England. This is a total British.
Yeah, they did film it in England. Yeah,
British production company.
Well, I think I feel like this show wasn't it in England first?
Yes.
Yeah,
I believe so, or Europe or somewhere.
Yeah.
It's definitely an import. So they are in this bar. They're meeting each other in this bar where all of these terrible extras are pointing at them like there's not 1,000 cameras around them. And the extras like, what's going on here? Why are these people got makeup on? Hubbub, hubbub, hubbub.
It does seem weird.
Totally awful. Absolutely cringeworthy.
It makes no sense. But they're speed dating. This is very much like Looking. They're speed dating in a bar, and they're kind of the way this is cut. They're all kind of going, not looking, dating around.
Dating around.
They're in this bar, and it kind of cuts in between all of them. But we'll kind of break them down. First, let's talk about Emma and her date with the Stone Man, or AKA Archie.
I didn't write a ton. Oh, I just want to say, Archie did ask, so why are you single? Y'all, don't ask that on a date unless you want to hear the answer.
And she said she was in a long-term relationship. Now, but here's the deal. They're supposed to not know if the other person's pretty. And then he says, oh, what did you for? And Emma says, I'm a model. And then Archie says, oh,
me too.
I'm me too. And I'm like, there goes this premise.
At that point, you know what I would do. I would scream and go, why?
It was the whole, like, they totally it was like, why the fuck are you both here?
Why bother?
Why are you doing this? So
I rethought my life decisions while I was watching this show.
So y'all, then there's Emma and the Mouse, and that is Adam from Birmingham. And that's where she tells him she broke up from a long-term relationship. He says, and he's kind of like, well, Birmingham. And she's like, oh. And he's like, yeah, we love pubs. And he said, we should go to Birmingham and get a little smash.
Get drunk in a pub. She's like, oh, okay.
That sounds great. And
you know what? He at least put it out there and was trying
that he
to
just
be
wants
funny.
to fuck.
True, but all the others were so boring.
They were boring. And then finally, Emma and Bennett, who is the mandrill. Mandrill.
Do you know what a mongoose is?
I do know what a mongoose is.
Okay. just check it because you said it, and I know you're confusing. Like Ricky Tikki Tavi.
I'll remember like a mandrill, like Barbara Mandrell. sleeping single in a double bed, tossing, turning, trying
It's
to
kind of
forget.
it's the relative of a bamboo baboon. Now I'm doing the kind of relative of bamboo.
Speaking of bamboo, I just found something on Instagram, y'all, and I am shook.
Is this related to the show?
Yes. Pier 1 is still open. I thought they were closed. All the stores closed. They're open online on Instagram.
Well, there you go.
Look at that. So anyway, Emma and Bennett, and Bennett's like,
okay, Bennett, I want to say he's giving off the douchiest vibe of all of them. And she's like, I'm really feeling it. Remember what she said when I usually fall for the bad boys?
Yeah.
Pattern achieved.
Because Bennett is from Southern California, whereas Archie and
they're both from
Adam
England.
are both from England. So, and Bennett's like, he's saying, he said, are you loyal? Because I can be loyal, but, I do have temptations. And Emma's like, yeah, I've had a problem with that.
Who says that?
I know. She's like, yeah, she said, yeah, I cheat on people too. That's basically what she said.
It was, y'all, this whole experience, I was sitting here watching like, huh?
And so that basically, y'all, is speed dating.
The speed dating was the hardest to handle for me.
It was. And then she said, she basically said she didn't really have any chemistry with anybody. And so now it's time where
you have to try harder.
Well, she says that later because now we go to Sexy Beast Manor, which looks like this huge house like Downton Abbey. I don't understand.
Stock footage. And then Sexy Beast Manor is a soundstage in Bristol.
Exactly. And so they go to, the three guys are there. She walks in and basically she says, all right, you guys, it's time for me to choose. And she does her whole thing of like,
you're giving her way too much charisma, by the way.
That's true. That's true. She's like,
all right, you guys, it's
all right,
time for me to choose.
And she's like, Adam, the combo flowed.
Now we're talking.
But you did make me laugh, but I didn't get to know you that well.
Y'all, these were scripted by producers because she does not deliver them.
This is why I say the producers more had a problem than casting.
I agree with that.
Because especially the casting for episode 2, I thought was good.
Yeah, the problem is your lead is a complete asshole.
But they completely shit the bed by not bringing out the asshole of James.
Yeah, I agree.
They should have brought that out more. So then she says to Bennett, she's like, Bennett, I like your chemistry, but I don't want to fight you for other girls.
I'm worried you're going to cheat on me and leave me in Las Vegas.
And she said something else about someone else. And y'all, she sends Adam the mouse home. And she's
I still think Adam the mouse was the most interesting player.
And she says, Adam, you go home, but can we go? Maybe, but I still will go with you to that pub in Birmingham. And he says,
like, maybe
not.
And I'm like, yes, here's what I'm here for.
And then where she says, he's like, yeah. And she was like, well, I couldn't wait to see Adam, but he's ugly on the inside. So no matter what he looks like, it doesn't.
He's cute.
Oh my God, he's hot.
Yeah.
He is good looking.
It's also, so that is the kind of cringe about this. And again, the mission of this show, the log line that they sold this show to everyone with was, this is Love is Blind with makeup.
It is
makeup. That's how they showed it.
It's not that at all. I'm telling you,
not that at all.
The best apparel is this is
Cupcake Wars.
Cupcake Wars. It's Cupcake Wars. It's Cupcake Wars,
and
meets
you don't
Face
even
Off.
get to eat cupcakes after.
It's Cupcake Wars meets Face Off. That's what it is.
Wow.
Anyway, so
at least the people on Cupcake Wars can cook. These people can't do shit.
It's true. So anyway, so he leaves, and then now it's and he sees her. They do show him her picture, and he's like,
oh, anybody got some tissues? Yeah,
she's hot. And so now she's going to go on a date with different guys. And Archie goes, Archie is the stone man. He goes up. They go and have a sensual. Or it's my mama's. What Mama Mar would say, a sensuous massage.
And Then this is definitely a producer question because she delivers it like she was literally reading it out of a cue card.
She does.
What would you do if money were no object? She does it like that. What would you do if money were no object? And he's like, oh, I'd probably travel the world. Yeah, me too.
And he's like, I like traveling the world. I like seeing culture when I
Oh
travel.
my God, me too.
And she's like, and that was fine. And then Emma says, and I'm just really trying to find my intuition. And then again, there was this great line from Archie where Archie says, yeah, that's so crazy you said that because this guy told me to follow my intuition and I guessed how old he was and I got it right. And I was like, wow. And then Emma says, oh my God, tell me what my age is. And he was like, you're 21. And she went, oh my God, you got it right. But the thing is, like, y'all, if you do this on the show, then where's the snake noise? Where's the music drops out? Where is this telling us this is a comedy?
That's what I'm saying. It's not good storytelling that way.
Instead, this is beautifully lit, and they're getting massages, and then go ahead, Poodle.
This is the comedic genius in the room.
Exactly.
The woman massaging the she's like, so tell me how old I am.
And he's like, okay, I got this. He's like, he puts his hands together and he thinks he's like 62.
She goes,
she
goes,
totally looks like she's like maybe 50 years old.
She's like, give me his feet.
She's not even close to 62.
That's the best line of the episode, y'all. Because that was improv.
And meanwhile, instead of laughing, Emmett says, I wish he would have come off as more of a gentleman. He should have lied and told her she was younger. And I'm like, what?
We missed every opportunity for comedy. Like it was kind of like a lot of times you'll read. I was reading screenplays lately for looking for collaborators for different things. And I would read things and you're like, oh, I know what the joke's going to be here. And they would completely miss a joke. I'm like, how do you miss that joke?
Or
it's right there.
Or surprise us in a good way in that we completely know what the joke is going to be. And then
turn it on its head.
And you turn it on its head and we shock us.
They don't do either of it.
But at the end of the day, they go like in this pool and they're kind of talking. And at the end of the day, Emma says, oh my God, we're pretty compatible. He has nice feet. So now she's going on a date with Bennett.
That's what they're compatible for.
Now she's going on a date with Bennett, who just wants to fuck, y'all.
Yeah, you get that. So they're on like a roller coaster, and he starts in with "Are you a screamer?" And then
he's like, without a beat, she's like, "Oh yeah,"
and he's like, "What's the weirdest place you ever had sex?" So now we're in like
it wasn't even like
Newlywed Game.
Are you a screamer on? It was like Newlywed Game.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like Are you a
What's
screamer
the weirdest
on a
place
roller
you've
coaster?
made whoopee?
Yeah, it wasn't. But it wasn't like he took 4 or 5 questions to get there. It was literally like, "Hey, do you want a Dr. Pepper? Sure. Do you like anal?"
Yeah,
it just made no sense. So she says, "Well, I've had sex like in a public before. What about you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I had sex on a golf course once."
I've done that too. Anyway, so they get on, they're going to do a roller coaster and Rob's like, nope, the teacups. So they're on the teacups and he's like, whoa, oh my God, every bit. And she's like, so are you communicative? And he goes, oh, overly so.
Overly.
And then
overly.
Nothing.
And then, yeah, he didn't say it.
I screamed out loud.
And then, but the thing is Rob Delaney then doesn't make a joke about that.
No!
It's so like if you have a narrator making joke, because y'all, they were rubbing their feet and he was like, oh, okay, this is for the feet fetish people, those people that like it out. And he made a joke. This was totally not, it was just missed. And so
the next thing it's raining and he's kind of like, he's literally like grabbing her back.
He's holding her and they're under the umbrella.
And they kind of kiss.
They kiss
kind of with his baboon, and it's difficult to watch because with all these prostheses
kind of
on,
like it's like the first time you see like I don't know, someone pee in someone's mouth, you're just like, oh, but I can't not stop watching this. Even though I'm not
exactly what
even
it
though,
is.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not into this at all. This
But
is
I
making
can't
us
stop.
like,
Like,
holy
how does
shit.
this work?
What is he drinking it? Is he spitting it out? This is weird.
I think that's what this whole show is like for me. Watching someone pee in someone's mouth.
And so
Basically,
basically,
that was the biggest laugh I've had today. Thank you for that.
you're welcome. And at the end, Emma says, Bennett really did open up today. I had so much fun.
Y'all,
So
he didn't
much
open
fun.
up at all.
Y'all,
He just kissed her and
he
made
kisses
out with her.
and he's kind of holding her. He's like, I would hold you all the time. Y'all, I'm going to tell you this right now. Bennett is freaky deaky.
Yeah, and all he wants to do is get in her pants. Let's make it that clear.
But it's time to choose who's her sexy beast.
Sexy beast.
Poodle, I'll let you do this one. I'll do the next one. Who does she choose?
He says, blah, blah, blah. Archie, you're not really the one for me because of blah, blah, blah. So I choose Bennett. And
Bennett.
Archie goes away. And Archie is revealed to be a really cute guy.
He's cute.
And she's like, not really my type. He's cute, not really my type. And then Emma is revealed. She's a bombshell. Like we all knew she was going to be.
She's gorgeous. She's this beautiful brunette. Yeah. She's gorgeous. And then we see Bennett. And
he's this Bennett big-haired douchebag.
He looks like someone who would be a contestant like from 2007 in American Idol.
And he had some real intense puffy coke bloke going on. Like he had just done lines the night before. Yeah,
it was just a lot. And he sees her and he's like, oh my God. She's like, oh my God. And they kiss.
Like, you're 100% my type. They're making out.
And he's making out. He's biting her lip. And Emma's like, I definitely made the right decision.
And then he's like, it's like my fairy tale.
Meanwhile, Emma's mom's watching at home back in Shreveport going,
filling her rosary.
Anyway, y'all.
Because this is on our free feed as well, let's take a quick break.
Oh, I forgot.
Let's take a quick break. If you're on our Patreon, you want to hear anything?
Yeah.
So we'll be right back. We are back. During the break, which was 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Yo, you think that we have like a commercial for us? You think we take a good break? Nope, we don't.
Usually it just involves Poodle getting another drink.
Or going to the bathroom.
Yeah. Or me getting a drink.
So I was just thinking to myself, you're exactly right. You said something about they didn't push the camp far enough. And the show goes halfway in between real and camp. But if you don't go all the way to camp, it's really uncomfortable.
Someone has a prosthetic beaver costume on their face. That's not
what
dramatic.
I'm saying.
That's not dramatic.
Yeah. Speaking of prosthetic
beaver face, I just want to mention we forgot to mention this first part because if you're listening on the free feed, we do this with every time we do a binge on our Patreon or our Supercast.
Try before you buy.
We have Reality Gaze Extra. That's our premium content, and you can either choose Patreon or Supercast. But we always put the first episode up for free. If you're riveted and you want to listen to Poodle talk about the most annoying person he's ever seen on reality TV, is this the woman who's the panda?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
She's crazy. Oh, she's horrible. Oh, I can't wait. So if you want to hear that, you got to.
She is abominable.
If you want to hear that, you got to pay $5 to join the first tier on Patreon or Supercast. That will also get you our classic 90 Day Fiance episodes and any other binges. That includes Love is Blind. So this month, even, we're going to do After the Altar of Love is Blind. So you'll get that. So that's
guaranteed entails. To be interesting.
That is,
we are invested in those couples.
That is going to be fucking riveting.
We're going to get to see Cameron and Laura.
What? That's next week, right?
Yeah, the 28th.
Shit, that's this week. Shit, we have a lot to do. Oh, God, that's when I'm going to be in Houston. I'm going to have to wait.
We've scheduled it. You just need to check the schedule.
Oh, God. Let's talk about a beaver.
Y'all meet James the Beaver. This is our first asshole contestant.
I don't know if he's an asshole or if he's just
so into himself.
no, or if he's just one of the dumbest people I've ever seen on reality TV. He's pretty fucking stupid.
I didn't think he was as dumb as he was just
You know what?
very socially awkward
And really self-absorbed.
Yeah.
He's almost kind of like the reality. It's almost like you see one day he could become Gaston from Beauty and the Beast.
You guys, for I'm calling this a lead. For a lead person in even an episode, you need them to be kind of one of a couple things. Unless it's a joke show like Next, you actually hope they're an asshole.
Unless it's a campy joke show, which is what this should have been.
And you need them to be either kind of a blank canvas like poor Emma was. There was nothing there, y'all. That's kind of the point. She was real pretty, though.
She was.
Or you need them to be kind of weird, like we're going to see with that fucking panda. Because that episode was amazing. Not for the good reasons, but because she was a nightmare.
She was a nightmare. So, y'all, he's a lab tech. He's a big guy, meaning he's a muscly guy.
And drink every time he says, touch my guns, or
touch my
talks
guns,
about how being big.
my muscles, or whatever.
Again, because personality is what's the most important.
And he's like,
remember,
when I date a lot of women, they think because I'm a big guy that I would be selfish and cocky, but I'm not. But he is.
He really is.
He really
and
is
also,
selfish and cocky.
Y'all, shockingly, he's an ass man.
He's an ass man. And so
I think that is a card that they make all the men say.
But
I think
then,
all of
that's true. But then he says, I'm looking for someone to make me laugh that's goofy and that will make me fall in love. And it's
but
like,
also the ass.
Huh?
That's the thing. That's this fake sincerity that this show has.
Yeah, and that's the weird part.
Frustrates me.
So his three
My father says, it frustrates me.
It frustrates me. So the people he has to choose from, there's
my mother go, God, that's not a word.
There's Amber. Amber is a pixie, a blue pixie. She's in the military and from North Carolina. And
is that a thing? Is that what a pixie looks like? Or do the makeup artists just go, sure, it's a pixie?
No, pixies have the nose and the ears. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a big
I don't know.
I don't really care. There's a whole pixie like subworld, like fairies and pixies, and people get really into it sexual ways and not. Like it freaking
I don't need to know.
Google pixie porn. And let me know.
No, thank you.
It ain't just Tinkerbell. That's all I'm telling you.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. So, y'all, she's from North Carolina. She's in the military. So she wants to have somebody to have fun.
She wants someone to have fun.
And that's kind of like, okay, great. Meanwhile, we meet Alexis.
The leopard.
There's a leopard. Again, I agree with you. She's here to change her spots. She's here to be someone different than she is in real life.
I was screaming, where are the puns? Where are the one-liners? Where are this? I could have written everything for this show. If they could have had like things like, they could have had like when someone sat down. Or things like that. Anything would have been better than what was there.
Yeah.
You're already in this makeup.
Because she says she's from New York City, and she's like, she hopes that this helps her find romance. So that's what she says.
Me in a fucking leopard costume on Netflix. Good luck, bitch.
And the only one again that's kind of funny is Tamiko. What is she again?
She's some kind of world's worst zombie or something.
She's like a zombie with her skin, and she says,
"This is a non-sexy costume, y'all."
No, yeah, she has you're kind of like, ugh. And she says, "I'm a serial first dater," and she's like, basically, I want a bad boy Barack Obama. If you find him, let me know. And that made me laugh.
She's the most interesting character,
and I like her.
And guess what? Like last time, we're going to talk about it. She gets gone first.
She does.
Like Adam, who was kind of the most interesting player.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. Sorry.
So let's talk about the speed lighting. So y'all, James is a gentleman.
It has no stakes, so why not?
He gets the chair for all of them.
But it also helps him look at their ass.
That's why he does it. He says, and again, use this like use it every time, whatever. And so Amber says, I'm noticing the muscles. And James is like, oh, do you want to feel him? So she feels of his muscles.
And I wrote down, we can't even get past appearance. We
can't.
we cannot even get past it.
And so it's like, and so Tomiko is like, I want a guy with some edge, and James does what
he tries to drink his whiskey really fast. I don't know why that's edgy. That's just alcoholic.
Well, he can't drink because he has the beaver teeth.
Right.
And so, Alexis says that she's a singer from New York, and he does what I hate what people do.
Oh, yes. You mean what I hear all the time?
Can you sing something for me?
Just out of the spur of the moment.
Dance, monkey, dance.
You know what I usually do?
What?
Usually people pay me to do that.
That's what you say? Yeah. Yes, you should.
I say that, and or I'll go, I just can't, something I just do. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit there and be your court jester. I don't say that, but y'all, she of course.
Meanwhile, we have a podcast called Reality Games. So
she does it on camera, and the song, I'm going to now recreate this song. Don't stop it, 'cause it feels so good.
And James is like, wow.
That was a little better than she did, actually.
You've got a nice ass.
Voice.
A voice. And so, and Tomiko says, next question, do you even need to ask, do you believe in love? And James says probably one of the most
bonkers.
He says one of the most thoughtful things I've ever heard anyone say on the Danny Show. You know how you're in a grocery store and you're going to get kale, and then you reach for the kale and someone else reaches for the kale, and then you touch hands, and then you realize you don't really want kale to begin with. You just want that person staring at you in Tom Thumb. That's
and at
love.
One point, she just goes, "Yeah,
yeah." She says, "Yeah." Or like in a
parking lot.
Or a parking lot.
And he goes, a parking lot?
And that's what James is like, a parking lot?
A parking lot? Oh, who would ever intercept someone in a parking lot? He gets very offended about a parking lot.
Anyway, y'all, a funny line.
My heavens.
My heavens. They all three are into him. We're going to go to Sexy Beast Manor. Rob Delaney says a line that made me laugh. He said, they're all eager for the beaver. And I'm like, yes. That's what this show needs. More puns.
We need lots more puns.
We need lots more puns.
It's also, if she would have said and made fun of him about kale, like, what the fuck are you talking about, kale? Or something. Anyway, so he's talking about, he raps, by the way, and it is abysmal. He can't even freestyle.
I forgot about it.
So...
Ooh,
he's like,
bad.
well, here's the he's making a joke. It's like, we're gonna ditch one dater, ass first, personality second. I'm superficial.
Not kidding. So, y'all,
can I just say exactly what he said for this?
Oh, sure.
They're back at Sexy Beast Manor. Amber, you have an amazing body.
But it's just a little too perfect.
Yeah.
Alexis, you're a little laid back.
You're a little laid back for me.
But I have fun with you.
Oh, God. And then Tomiko, I don't know. We really had a good time, but...
No. This was a totally producer line. Yeah. Because he would never say... Besides the concept of love, y'all, James doesn't know what concept of love means, nor that phrase. But he said, besides the concept of love, we don't have much in common.
Yeah, that was written. Yeah.
That was written. Y'all, Tomiko leaves.
The most interesting person. Like before, I have a feeling this trend is going to continue, by the way.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, she sees this picture, and we see Tomiko, and she's
gorgeous.
She's gorgeous.
Spoiler alert, they're all going to be hot.
They're all gorgeous.
It's the same Love is Blind thing. They're all hot.
Exactly.
There are no stakes. There's no one who looks like me and Maddie.
It's better if they almost had like 6 people that one person dated all throughout the show, and then at the end, they choose that person, and 3 of them are pretty, and 3 of them are gorgeous, and 3 of them are normal, and they decide if they still want to go out with the normal person.
That'll never work with this group of people.
Yeah, never work. Anyway,
that's when the casting would have been an issue.
So, Tamika leaves, and she was like, he was right. We really didn't have anything in common, so it was fine.
I like that response. Yeah, then she sees him. She's like, not who I normally go for, but it's a good-looking guy.
She's cute. And whereas James sees her, and he was like, my God. Oh, shit, man. Shit, bro. Shit. Damn, I make mistakes. Damn.
I'm still crying.
And that's where I actually think it's a producer thing, because James is funny. I think he says funny things, and they could bring out his douchery and kind of funniness.
Yeah,
but they don't.
But
they don't.
The thing is, the grossest part is it kind of leaks all over the rest of the show.
But how funny would it be if James was going? Maybe it is part of the casting. I agree with you, because how funny would it be if James went on a date with someone like Paris Hilton?
Yeah,
we would have been way more funny.
But it's like things are either so scripted or regimented where there's no time for improv, and when it does happen, it's really funny.
But we're eviscerating this, but we get it. It's hard to make a good show. But
it's hard. And the thing about it is, though, you have to kind of decide on your rules going in. I don't think this show had any rules.
I think this show was a good concept and never really fleshed out.
Exactly.
Which
it was greenlit, and because Netflix does so many shows.
They do so. And I've pitched before. Y'all, my business partner and I, we have 1,000,001 great concepts. We can have 50 great concepts, and from that, probably we will actually get like 3 good shows.
Yeah, I was going to say 3.
Really, so it's a big difference.
You could have, y'all need to pitch Netflix, because they are obviously, I'm sure it's hard to get to them.
Yeah.
I think you have to have a production company before.
They're kind of horrible to work.
I'm sure.
I'm
sure.
They're like
I dated Ash, aka had sex with a guy who is working there right now, and he says it is miserable.
It's kind of the Amazon of entertainment.
Ouch.
They think they're God, and they do everything. That way, Netflix, if you want us to recap any of your shows on your network, let us know. We'd love to work for you.
Or if you want to make a show just about us.
Just about us, sure.
We're ready.
We're ready.
I love Netflix.
Yeah, love them. They're very gay friendly, I have to say. So James's first date is with Amber, the pixie. And
they're going to go to ice sculpting.
So I'm confused. There's an ice sculpting teacher, and James just tells the teacher, we're going to do it on our own.
That's what I gleaned.
So you know what this means? It means they don't have an ice sculpting teacher. They have a really hot, handsome grip named Nick that they had stand behind an ice sculpture and say, look like a teacher. We're just going to have them literally, because get it, y'all? They're breaking the ice.
Now, that was no one ever said anything about breaking the ice. I think Rob later on said, and this is that very metaphorical statement about broken hearts and blah, blah, blah. But no one, even they didn't say, even the couple didn't say, we're literally breaking the ice.
No one said
No one said it. It drove me insane.
And so they're making hearts. And she was like, Amber's like, so why did you pick me? He's like, well, you both weren't awkward. And Nick's just kind of sitting there. And
he also said, your body. She said, what's the first thing you notice about me? And she went, your body. So obviously not your face, because it's covered in a big blue makeup.
Your body.
And your body.
Girl,
you're built.
And she says, well, Amber, what did you else like about me? He's like, well, we had a good conversation. She said, well, if you dated, since you like my body, what if we dated and I gained 300 pounds? Silent. He literally Nick the ice sculpture the teacher whip like a spit take.
I'm going to tell you the answer you need to say, James. That's not important to me. For me, it's about the person.
But it doesn't matter, because James says, well, that would make a difference. And Amber, this is why Amber makes bad decisions, y'all. Because Amber processes that in her mind and says, it's
He likes my
flattering
body."
that he likes my body. I'm so flattered. I mean, I try.
That's why it's so frustrating to watch these people. Like you know what this felt like? Just to be honest, it felt like a reality show in like 2004.
Yeah.
When we were beyond the age when women could actually say things they were thinking, and they had to say things and men could just say all kinds of really terrible shit
and sexual innuendo shit.
Yes.
And like she breaks her sculpture, and James
breaks his heart.
James in the room, the idiot who I think is actually funny says, "Oh, it's a broken heart," not the announcer.
Yeah, right.
James.
And then he said, "I win." Like it's a competition.
Okay, he's very competition with both of them. It's a red flag. It's not good at all.
I was horrified.
He's really self-absorbed. And like, again, y'all, this self-absorbed thing, Poodle, what's one of the first rules of comedy?
It's about the other person.
Nope, another rule.
Listening?
One of the main tenets of when you write comedy, comedy comes in what?
Threes.
Y'all, he literally did 3 different times where he acted like a self-absorbed jerk, and they didn't build on those moments.
Yeah, I agree. This was a missed opportunity.
He did this with the ice sculpture competition. He did this with the next competition, and then he did it at the end, and they didn't make a joke about this. But anyway.
So he says, "I win." Then they go to a local pub, and
he has to kiss her, and she's like,
"Well, here's the thing." He says, because he has to kiss her, and she says no, and then he says what to me is always overstepping boundaries. Can I get a hug? When you demand a hug, you guys, a lot of times it usually means that the other person is not giving you signals to have a hug.
But again, comedy. He says this later, and there's a different reaction, and they didn't, and it was kind of, that was funny. At least she kind of got.
But don't you agree? The phrase "Can I have a hug," especially uttered by straight men to women,
it just makes me clammy even when you say it.
Me too. And I've talked about my issues with hugging before, and how I was kind of forced to hug relatives all the time, and now, if I hug you, it means I'm comfortable with you.
I don't mind if you say, "Can I have a hug?" the first thing, like, "Oh, can I give you a hug?" But if you ask for a kiss and I say no,
it's very different. It's very different what you just said.
No,
can I give you a hug?
I'm just trying to make that distinction. Yeah. If you say, "Can I have a hug?" but if you say, "Can I have a kiss?" No, well, can I have a hug? That's
gross.
That's like if a guy said to me, "Hey, can I fuck you in the ass?" I can't say no to that. Yes, you can fuck me in the ass. But if I ever said no to that, and then he said, "But can I give you a reach around?" Yes.
Yeah. But it's, to me, when I say, "Can I give you a hug?" to me is different than "Can I have a hug?" I think that's very different, because one is active on his part and the other is me giving you something. I still don't like it when people ask me that. However, there is a way of knowing if someone is receptive to a hug.
I just hug Poodle. I don't even ask him.
That's true. But I'm saying when someone goes, "Oh, so good to see you," and there's a movement in their shoulders, and the other person sticks their shoulders out, that's it. You guys, you can facilitate a hug. You and you will know when it's there. It's better than saying, "Can I have a hug?" You know who asked, "Can I have a hug?" Andrew from 90 Days of Andrew and Amira. Every fucking day after drama class.
He does.
Can I have a hug?
He does. He does.
Yeah. I guarantee you.
You're still upset that his penis is pretty, aren't you?
I'm very upset. Out of our female listenership, they have all, 98%, have given hugs to men who have asked, "Can I have a hug?" and they did not want to.
And you know what? Y'all need to do what... well, we're going to talk about it, but what Alexis does at the end, which I thought was great. So she doesn't give him a kiss, they have a hug. So now it's next date. So James is going on a date with Alexis. That was Amber. He's going on a date now with Alexis. Y'all, they're going skeet shooting. And so James, again, have you seen guns like these before? He's like flexing. So
I'll
they're
throw
shooting at
myself
the
down a flight
ski.
of stairs.
She hits 2, and she's like, "Wow, I got 2." James immediately says, "I gotta
No,
win.
I gotta win this. I gotta
I gotta
win
win
this.
this."
I gotta be better than her.
So
Oh fuck! What a terrible date.
and then, but what Alexis says, "I think behind the muscles is a guy who wants to connect with someone." Okay.
They totally gave her a card to say that.
Okay. Yeah.
She doesn't. No.
So he gets like 4. He's like, "Yay, I won. Who fucking cares?" And even the narrator is like, "Why don't you?" That's where he first kind of makes like, "Why don't you let her win?" Again,
Right.
we had this prior. You should have whatever. So
He's like, have you guys seen this before? Like guns and then the guy's like, and I wrote down, he is insufferable.
yes.
He is absolutely intolerable. I don't know how any woman deals with this person.
So they go to this little gazebo and have drinks and stuff. And James is like, "What else can we do?
Tackle
And she-
football.
Tackle football?" She's like,
Gonna touch your boobies.
"It all
your
boils
ass."
down to you." And he said, "How would you feel about a beaver kiss?" And they kiss, and it was nice. And she said,
she's like, okay, sure.
and yeah, and they kiss, and then she says the most obvious line of the whole show. "That was like our first kiss." And I went, "Yeah, we just saw it. Like, you just kissed. Like, this was your first kiss. Yes."
And then he high fives her.
Ooh.
Like
and,
they're in the locker room after soccer.
and that's when I wrote, James is dumb.
I actually I went inside myself when he high-fived her.
Yet, and this is spoiler alert. I mean, we saw y'all. He ends up picking Alexis. That's his sexy beast is Alexis. And Amber is shocked because Amber even says, y'all, and I kind of agree. If you went by date, Amber and James had a much better date.
Oh, definitely. But you know why James picked Alexis?
Because he got to kiss her and he thinks he's going to fuck her quicker. That's it.
Because she was more compromising.
He's going to get to her beaver. That's what he's thinking of.
Talk about selling the wrong message. I mean, wow. This was a very objectionable 25 minutes of television.
It was. But he basically says there was just he even says there was way more romance for me with Alexis. Y'all, there actually was more with Amber.
I totally agree.
So we see what Alexis looks like.
No, Amber.
Or Amber looks like. She's fucking gorgeous.
Fucking gorgeous. So
she's gorgeous.
He sees her and he's like, but hamana.
And she sees him, and y'all.
He's like, and he says again, "Can I get a hug?" And she's like, "My hero, how about a handshake?"
She didn't say how about. She said you can get a handshake.
That's what it is.
She shakes his hand and walks away, and James just goes, "That ass."
Did I make the right decision? I don't know. Maybe I'll be.
I'm gonna say something. I would fuck James. James is my type.
Come on, until
he opened his mouth. But look wise, he looks like guys I go for.
He has such a punchable face.
He's a very handsome, muscly black man, but his face is okay. But his arms are nice.
You're like all of these people on this show.
No.
Wow.
Okay, you're the person that would fuck Doug from Log After Lockup. So why don't you analyze?
A lot of our listeners said they would.
I'm not saying I would after I talked to him. I'm saying before he opened his mouth.
Oh, I didn't think he was that attractive at all.
He's not hot, but he's cute. I think he's cute. His body, he's a little bit of a butterfly, but he's pretty hot. So, y'all, Alexis comes out and she's cute.
She's really pretty.
She's really pretty. And then y'all, okay.
He takes off his coat.
No. I have to set this. Y'all, this is in England. You can tell me it's cold here because they're talking and you can see their breath. So she sees him and she's wearing, because it's a fucking dating show, she's wearing basically a spaghetti strap.
Yeah, lingerie.
A spaghetti strap, kind of form-fitting dress. Y'all, she's fucking freezing. You can tell she's freezing and she's just kind of looking at him and he's like, oh, dude. And that's when Go Ahead Poodle.
He takes off his coat.
And what did you think?
And I'm like, oh, that's kind of nice. And then he drops it to the floor and does a gun show.
He's like, here. You can
It
look at
does
all
a
this.
360. It's like, look what you just got, bitch.
Look what you just got. And that's, y'all.
And she goes, I kind of thought they put the coat on me, but it's like, whatever.
It's like, whatever.
And I went, that's the cherry on top of the shit sundae.
And
there
they walk
we
away,
are.
and you can see their breath. And again, that's what I'm talking about.
And
he
then
was yeah.
I have one more layer of mixed nuts on top of the shit sundae. You know, the thing is, if this doesn't work out, I'm definitely going to hit up Tomiko.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. The thing is, you're exactly right. If this would not have had this let's be sincere frame about it and be like MTV game shows like Next, Room Raiders, whatever the fuck, My Parents, Pick My Date or whatever the fuck, we would be all in it. We would have so much fun. It's not, because it's halfway in between stakes television and joke television, and it doesn't know what it is.
It's hard with these type of shows when they're British shows, because in Britain, y'all, if you watch Love Island in the US, y'all, it's terrible. This season's horrible. I watched like an episode and a half, and that's all I can watch.
I'm watching all of it because I'm kind of hooked. I need
but
help with
that. But it's not
that.
good.
It's terrible.
It's really
terrible.
bad.
But I'm now
You're
a little
obsessed
invested.
with the guy I met, aren't you?
He's so hot.
He's really hot.
But no, there's one guy named Isaiah who is ridiculous.
Here's the deal, though. Love Island Britain is so much better.
It's
than
because
UK
you
one.
see, it's all
But it's camp. They get the joke. They're funnier. They can be racier.
It's also high stakes, though.
And
at the same
also,
time.
I don't know why, but UK television doesn't have this puritanical thing about love that American television often has. And you can tell this. I knew this was a British show because I bet the British version of this is really funny.
Probably. Yeah.
Because I bet they really chalk up the fun. They're there not to find love. They just want to shag, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Look at you dropping British terms.
Anyway.
They got banter.
He
He got tattoos like Chloe.
Blimey. Anyway, y'all,
that is
show.
the first. That is our first episode covering the first episode. 2 episodes of Sexy Beast. There will be 2 others, whether I like it to or not. Although I can't wait to cover that panda.
Sad panda.
No, she's a shitty panda.
Yeah,
and
now
Nina,
what Panda Express.
There is Nina the dolphin who's in the middle of that, and that is a little interesting. I have not seen episodes 5 and 6.
That dolphin outfit freaks me out.
I like it how, I don't know who posted on Twitter, but it's like they had the picture of the dolphin going, and it's just her eyes were too close together, and it's like me when I get too high when I'm out at restaurants. Been there.
I have not, but I've been.
Yo, that's the show. We don't have a sign off. We can say, say sexy beasts.
Stay sexy beasts. Y'all go to realitygazepodcast.com. If you're interested in subscribing to the Reality Gaze extra content, that's in the show notes. You can do that, or you can go to our website and you can get the links for that. Everybody. So we'll see you next time. We'll try to get the episodes out soon. So as Poodle said,
stay sexy beasts.